lost all control. Her gravity is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She comes with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me.
I don't know what that was. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Saturday edition of the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. And I don't know what that was all about, but we are here and with you and loving every second of it. I just am thrilled with our turnout last night. Thank you to everybody who participated in last night's show with Deborah Varner doing call-in readings. It was just amazing. It was nothing short of amazing. And I hope you all are hearing us okay. I think everything's going good. But let me just look to be sure. Yep, everybody. Hey, Don Quixote's in the TFR. Billy Ray. Bam is in there. Wookie's in there. Enlightened Dawn is in there. Renee Cruz is in there. Cautious Humans in there. And Doc Hayek, along with the bot, Sophia. And myself, of course. And, of course, we got a big crowd coming into YouTube. But before we get there, I just want to welcome my good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard, to the show. Hello, Don.
Hi.
Wow.
How do I use this thing?
It's like, is this thing on? Yeah, welcome, Don.
Hey, it's Saturday night.
It is Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here for 2 full hours of paranormal fun
my goodness.
and mayhem, and we will see just how far we can make that go down the drain in 2 short hours, but I'm pretty sure
it only takes 2 short seconds.
we can probably get to the whole septic system in about, I'm going to give us about 10, 15 minutes, Don.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
You have some very wow.
I'm an achiever, Don.
Yes, I see that.
You can't short yourself out on stuff like this. This is an art form, but I think everything's going good.
Going down the toilet is an art form.
Well, no, that's like weekly. I'm just looking at everything. I think everything's working well. Everybody can hear us, I assume. But I appreciate everybody being here. Don, who's in YouTube?
Let's take a gander.
And you got that in song, ladies and gentlemen. That was free. We don't even charge extra for that kind of entertainment.
Oh my.
Well, I'm saying.
Got our friend Beth. Beth posted a great picture of her with some new teeth in today. That was awesome.
New teeth.
Yeah, new teeth.
Wow.
Anyhow, Cam's here. Carrie is here. Claire is here. Deb, of course, Ms. Deb Varner. DJ Big Red's here. Pam is here. I am Pam. How are you? Hi, Linda. Lisa Heilman. Mogion Monsters here.
Uh-huh.
Nellie Moen just popped in. It's about time.
Excellent.
Rebecca79. Renee Cruz. And we got Robert Edgington and Ken from Down Under. The Rotman.
The Rotman. Absolutely. Well, it's a full boat of fun here.
Oops, Lewis is here.
Oh, yeah, and Lewis. No, good to see you, Lewis. Thanks for coming in. Thank you all for coming in and being a part of the journey that is the Paranormal Portal. Whereas, every episode, Don and I are really not sure how this is going to go, but we always start out with a whole boatload of optimism and and probably a whole lot of gumption. I don't know. Chutzpah. We got lots of chutzpah down.
Do you need a little phlegm in there?
Yeah, no. I think that's only German where you do that, right?
All right.
Chutzpah. No, I'm not bagging on German. I'm really have enough trouble with English.
I used to work somewhere where I used to work by myself for like 4 hours straight, and I put like Rosetta Stone in my headset where I could listen to it, and I listened to German for 4 hours straight for like weeks. And the only thing I could say is Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, ich heißen Brent.
Oh wait, I can say kindergarten too.
Kindergarten. Well, that's good.
That's
you gotta
about
start
where my vocabulary level is with it.
Probably not even. No.
Not even. That's just American.
Yeah.
American
Exactly.
English, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, we're trying to be worldly here on the portal because we get messages from all over the world. Just got a message from a listener in Australia. To the podcast, which was really cool, and that was wonderful. And it's just really neat.
Yeah, Ken, I know that word too.
What? Oh, Ken, come on, Ken. See, well, I guess we beat my guesstimate, Don. We went down the drain well before that.
I told you it'd take 2 short seconds. Just let Don talk.
Just let Don go, and we'll be in the drain before you know it.
Rebecca's a podcast listener too. That's awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. It's Rebecca Ha. Rebecca. Is it
Rebecca Ha?
Oh, okay.
Rebecca Ha.
Well, it's Rebecca.
It is.
Well done.
Soon. That's attention, right? See, you're more worldly than you know.
Well, because Rots reminded me of the words I actually know.
I think I only know that one because of you too. Achtung, baby.
Well, I know how to order beer in German too.
Okay. Well, there you go.
They really, really kind of focused on
things
you say in German restaurants. And
probably the things you're going to need.
Yeah, beer.
And where's the bathroom? The two most common terms or sentences spoken. But no, I think it's cool to be bilingual. I am trying with a couple different languages outside of English, but so far my progress is incredibly slow. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not necessarily the best student either. So
what language would you teach Minion?
Oh, he's actually learning both of them.
Is he? Oh,
yep.
Excellent.
We're working on making him bilingual, so we'll see how that works. But so far, he's picking up some stuff. Yeah, he probably knows a lot more than I do, which is tragic because I've had a lot more time to learn than he is. But he's got the young mind. They just grab everything. They're like little suction machines that
sponges.
Yeah, they just soak it in
Soak it right up.
And I'm like, God, I can't remember somebody's name 2 minutes after talking to him. Who was that guy?
Yeah.
So it's just my life, ladies and gentlemen. But that's not why you're here. But you get to know a little more about us every show, whether you like it or not.
Well, they must like it. They keep coming back, and we certainly appreciate that. Let me do a little sucking up. We love you all.
We do love you all, for sure. You guys are the spine. You are our backbone, and we are your ribs. I don't even know what that means. That's just so stupid.
Oh my God!
Sorry.
More like the funny bone. That ain't so funny.
Yeah. Well, we got a good show lined up for you guys tonight, and ladies and gentlemen, and we have some listener emails that we're going to get into.
Yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorites of the show, either call-ins or emails. Well, of course, when you have guests, I love that too. But and I love reading stories and stuff. But I just love the listener emails because that's just like people's right on the spot, first person experiences, and they take the time to write them out and send them in. So I love reading those. So let's get to those. What do you think, Don?
Sure. Yeah. Let's wind it up.
'Cause you didn't come here to watch TV, did you? Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was watching a video.
Oh, you were?
No.
Don's over here.
Oh my God.
Like not paying attention. Hi, Nelly. What's thumping, dude?
That was me.
Oh, good Lord.
Is it bump bump bump?
That's a whole lot of bass.
Bump bump bump.
All right. So anyway, I got some listener emails. We're going to get into that right now, as a matter of fact.
Sweet.
So this is from listener Linda. And Linda is been a frequent contributor lately, which is really fantastic.
That's awesome.
She's got some amazing stories, and it's just a real pleasure to get into them. But let me read this, and I love it because she she uses a really big font, which is awesome.
Because she understands that you have a problem with
She knows
microfonts.
the struggle is real. Yeah, exactly. As my eyes age, so does my font needs. They definitely explode. It's like a geometric relationship there. All right, so this one is, and it's Linda in Minnesota, October 8th, 2019.
So we got this a couple days ago. Cool.
Yeah.
It's fresh, right off the press.
It is. This is hot off the paranormal presses. So a few months ago, I'd gotten a blank text from an unknown caller. The next day, I got another blank text from that same number. So I sent a return text back saying, or asking, please, who are you and why are you sending me blank texts? No response. Well, I couldn't just let it go. I was really curious, so I sent another text. Why did you contact me and what did you want? Another day went by and I finally received a text saying, you must be mistaken. No text or phone calls have been sent from this phone. I wrote back and told the person that I wasn't mistaken and I'd gotten blank text messages from that number twice. And I was really curious as to why. After a few long minutes, they wrote that it was their mother's phone and she had passed away before those texts had been sent. And I had to have been mistaken. Well, I instantly felt sad and terrible to be bothering this person who had lost their mom. I took some time, sorted out my feelings, and then I wrote back and said, I do not believe in coincidences. And I am honored that your mom chose me to convey the message to her daughter. I believe that is you. Am I correct? And mom says she is happy in heaven and she loves you very, very much. Watch for signs from her. She will look after you until you go home to heaven and join her there. The daughter sent me a big thank you. The entire ordeal brought tears to my eyes. I'm not a medium per se, but I have been able to connect with some people that I love and who have passed over, and this was the first stranger. So I had to go with what my gut feelings were saying here, and when I typed the message back to this daughter, that message just came out. It felt loving, it felt honest, it felt true. It just felt right. I know that I was able to help even with the mostly underdeveloped mediumship skills. We all can do it. And they say, keep practicing. Hey, people, if I can do it, so can all of you.
Wow.
That's really beautiful.
Wow.
That's a powerful, powerful thing, you know? Where did it go? I'm lost. Okay. All right, now this is another one that Linda sent in, and this one's pretty amazing. And this occurrence happened, according to her, just last Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019.
Actually, that's
a
week ago.
Well, right, but it happened according to this.
Oh,
it reads.
You know what?
I'm actually reading it.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So it says I took the hot dogs out at 8 p.m. and while I took the dogs out. Or the hot dogs. Sorry, those are actually living dogs. My mistake. I took the dogs out at 8 p.m.
While I was in walking. Gotcha. Sorry, Linda.
I'm sorry. I just beat the hell out of that one, didn't I? While I was out, Scott opened the cupboard to get something, and 2 bottles of barbecue sauce that were on the top shelf and tucked back on the shelf flew out at him, and he just closed his eyes as it was coming right at his face. But one dropped onto the counter and the other onto the floor, and he just stood there in shock, looking at the 2 unbroken bottles that never did touch him. But they had been coming right at his face when he braced for the impact.
Wow.
This is when the dogs and I came flying back in to find out what all the noise was about. His eyes looked like saucers, and it took him a minute before he could tell me what had happened. I guess we were a little shocked that it waited until I was outside and picked on only Scott this time. Scott probably wouldn't admit it, but it really startled and scared him. It was probably wanting more of a reaction than I would normally have given it. I asked our psychic friend Deb about this, and she picked right up on it. Deb said, male energy, dark brown hair, at least 6 foot, medium build, tattoos, hazel or green eyes, maybe. he would be the type that would laugh about what happened, like it was just a joke. Well, I was stunned. She's perfectly described my ex, who passed over in 2014. Deb is just remarkable. And then she said, his energy is pretty strong. Got him quick. It's like he figured the best way to get your attention was to pick on Scott. Laugh out loud. And I would suggest maybe acknowledge him and ask him to behave, or he'll have to go. I'd ask him what message he has, because it feels like he's been trying to get your attention. He has determined personality. He has a determined personality. Like, you will pay attention to me. Deb already has been very helpful in figuring out the paranormal things that have happened to me. I've been able to channel him a few times, but I lack the skill and experience in mediumship. I'm in kindergarten, and Deb has her PhD.
That she does.
Yeah. I'm planning on having Deb give me a private reading, hopefully this weekend. It's like peeking into the other dimension. Oh, and I'm still not sure what message he has for me. Another day, another mystery.
Wow.
Very cool story. Wow. That's intense. You got 2 full barbecue bottles heading straight for your face.
That'd be crazy.
That would be
they just kind of stop and
yeah, they just kind of change direction as soon as his eyes closed. Like, oh well, guess you noticed me now. Very intense, very very cool. And then I just received this one. Now, we did a podcast just last Monday from a gentleman who was an over the road long haul trucker named Ty. And Ty has some other friends who are out there, and I have not pre-read this, so I hope it's clean.
Well, this is something else from Ty?
No, this is actually from a friend of his.
Oh, a friend of Ty's.
That is also
okay.
over the road, and we'll probably read this on a podcast as well,
Yeah.
because I think they're podcast listeners. But he says, "Hi, Brent. My name's Calvin. I was turned on to your show by Ty."
Thanks, Ty.
Yeah, thank you, Ty. And after listening to the episode where you interviewed him, I wanted to share a story myself for a future episode, which I'll have him on to record. Just something you and Mr. Longbeard can discuss.
Mr. Longbeard. Wow.
It's Mr. Longbeard. I drive nights and sleep most of the day, so it would be easy this way. I do tend to be a little comical when telling this story because it still freaks me out. And I figure if I try to make more sense of it for myself through making it seem comical, then maybe one day it won't creep me out as much as bad.
Right.
Plus, I'm the kind of person that if I become nervous or scared, my release is laughing. Sorry if that makes the story seem insincere. It's just how I try to cope with this event. Yeah, I'm really actually the same way. That's very much how, when things become uncomfortable, I generally go to humor just to process it, I guess. First, I'd like to say I was never a believer in the paranormal or cryptids for the better half of my life. I didn't start researching and then following these things until I had my experience when I was 32. I've driven long haul since I turned 21, and much of everything I had seen since that point was really pretty mundane. But on one particular night, I was thrust into a terror I've never felt before. It all started with a blown tire. I was traveling westbound on Interstate 69 one night when the familiar sound of a tire blowing out disturbed the dull drone of the truck's engine that it was making as I pulled its way up the hill. I immediately slowed my truck down, finished climbing what was left of the hill, and got onto the shoulder of the road to see what the damage was. As I'm checking the tires, I find the mangled piece of wire and rubber on the passenger side of my trailer and begin looking at the tire next to it to make sure it wasn't damaged. As I'm doing this, I keep hearing this weird noise that sounds like a cross between a cow moaning and a deer bleating. Thinking maybe it might just be a deer panicking, I continue checking for damage to the tires and the trailer, and after a few minutes, I realize the noise has stopped and is now being replaced with what I can only describe as 2 cats fighting in a pile of dried leaves. I shine my light towards the noise, expecting to see a deer trying to scurry away. The light found a creature, but it wasn't a deer. At first, all I could see was a really pale-looking bald head peering at me through the brush. Its eyes left an almost golden reflection in the light. It was relatively low to the ground. It says group, but I think ground is what he meant.
Yeah.
So I assumed who or whatever it was crouched down. As soon as it was in my view of the whole body was washed in a sense of dread and fear. My whole body was washed in a sense of dread and fear. Like when your gut tells you you shouldn't be here, you need to run. But your trustworthy legs respond by freezing up on you. Yeah, that's not good. I stare at this thing for maybe a good 5 to 10 seconds, trying to figure out exactly what it is and why it's trying to hide. I shout, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need help?" And what I'm hoping is a person and not some mask a punk kid is hung from the bushes to scare people. As soon as I address it, it lurches out of the bushes, almost like the way zombies walk in the movies. And this is when I see it's not crouching. It's walking on all fours.
Oh, boy.
But its stance is so off that it looked impossible for a human to do that. I'm staring even more terrified at this thing. It begins a fast-paced walk towards me. Oh, dear God. That'd be horrible. I now see that its eyes and mouth are just empty black holes. Once it started toward me, every ounce of my being screamed run, and I became aware that my brain had finally convinced my legs it was time to move again. I began backing away quickly, but with every step I took, it closed the gap with an even larger, more awkward zombie-like step.
Crap.
Once it was within 15 feet of me, I just abandoned everything National Geographic told me about predators and turned and ran screaming, "Oh my God," back to my truck. I could hear this thing when its feet made contact with the asphalt. It sounded a lot like bare feet running across concrete with the little thuds it made. I made it into my truck and slammed the door, locking it behind me, hoping the lock kept whatever that thing was out. I look in the mirror to see where it is, where it's at, as I'm putting the truck in gear, but I don't see any sign of it. When I turn to look ahead of me, it's standing in front of the truck,
Ooh.
just staring at me, the same golden amber eyes in it, glow in its eyes. And as I'm beginning to move, it bolted into the wood line. I had never experienced anything like that in my life, and probably never feel the same level of fear ever again in my life. After doing some research, I think what I saw may have been
agree.
a rake or some sort of ghoul. Whatever it was, I hope to never see it again. It's affected me so much that I avoid that highway if I'm able to go around it.
Oh my God, I got chills.
Right.
Yeah, because when he said when he first mentioned the golden eye shine, I'm like, rake. It sounds like a rake.
Yeah.
It's low to the ground. It's all in all fours.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's got to be just stepping right out of the nightmares. And could you imagine it's there, like in front of you physically?
That is like, I literally have chills.
Yeah.
I literally do.
I don't know what to think about.
And then it's standing in front of his truck. It was like, oh.
Oh, man. That
Wow.
poor guy. And the problem is that we can just, eventually forget about it. But that's what he sees
Yeah.
in his mind when he thinks about this. And that's just got to be horrible.
Oh, my God, dude.
So some people talk about the rake just as a little side discussion here, and they like to dismiss it. Oh, that's just something of popular fiction. That's just a term that somebody brought up on Reddit or something like that. And here's the thing: the term rake is new, but it's kind of like just another way to describe something that has always been described as like a ghoul.
Yeah.
And ghouls have been around since ancient times.
Oh, my God, yes.
There are accounts of ghouls going back into prehistory nearly, that these weird, pasty, baldish things are out there. And now it doesn't seem to be there's a lot of them, but it does seem that they're out there, and they have been out there for a very long time. So I don't know, man. This guy, I just can't imagine the terror.
Yeah, no. And he said, his legs just wouldn't move.
He's frozen.
His brain's like, I got to run, but his body's like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, what would you do?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Pam says she'd pee her pants. And I agree with you, Pam.
Diana. Hi, Diana. She says it reminds me of that creepy video Brent posted. The porch video. Oh, my God.
That's just it. Now that porch video is just through a screen type of
like a screen door.
Porch screen or something.
Yeah.
A window screen. And it's really not very precise what you're looking at, but just the way it moves, the weirdness of it is enough to give me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, even from inside a house, I wouldn't feel safe. I just wouldn't want to be around anywhere near where that thing is. It's just horrible.
Now, what was this, Joe? Calvin. Calvin didn't mention if there was any traffic that night coming up that hill on 69.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
You
I
kinda,
assume there probably wasn't.
you're like, were there anybody else? Was there anybody else that witnessed it? Oh, that's the question.
That's the $1 million question, yeah. But what a great, amazing story. I'm definitely going to have to get a hold of
God, yeah.
Calvin, and we'll do a podcast with him.
Telling his story, yeah, and anything else that may have come up.
Right, yeah. And this is one story. I'm sure
God, yeah.
I'm sure he's probably got several more. Maybe not as fantastic as this one, but my God, what a horrible experience. My hat's off to you, brother, that you were able to keep it together.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, here's the porch rake video. I'm gonna post it in the chat.
In the chat?
Yeah, because people are asking for it. So
yeah, it's a horrible video.
I need to like it. I need to like it, and that way it'll go into my channel. But yeah, I'll post that up there.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was creepy.
That's an amazing story, though. He's one hell of an account for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. There it is. I posted it in there. How you doing? Hi, Daniela. Hi, Cade. How the heck
Cade.
are you both?
Oh, I sent that video to Cade. Yeah.
Oh, the porch video, the porch.
Yeah, the porch video that you
Yeah.
were just talking about. I sent it to him before because we were talking about
God, that
rakes.
thing scares me.
Yeah, and this story is just intense.
Again, he says, "Great to see Dawn out of the shadows." So it was right for me to turn on that light.
Out of the shadows and into the light. All right. So yeah, that's an amazing email. Were you doing the
Constantine?
Constantine,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. I didn't know what you're doing because I'm blind over there. But yeah, it just came to me. You must be putting your forearms together with the tattoos on it. But yeah, thank you so much, Calvin. If you happen to be listening somehow, I suspect you're a podcast listener and probably aren't aware of the YouTube, or maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But I'll be getting in touch with you if you're out there listening, and we're going to put this into a podcast. What an incredible story! Jeez, Oof. I mean, it made my pulse race as I was reading it.
I was, yeah.
I mean, obviously we knew he was okay because he wrote the email, but man,
oh my God,
just thinking that thing was so close to him.
And I mean, how could you not get chills just reading that?
Yeah, that is just horrid.
Is that our
It's time for a break, ladies and gentlemen.
time? Wow.
Just perfect timing. We'll be right back. Don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I see that the on-screen chat thing is not working. I don't know if it's been working up till now or if it's just the scene.
You know what? I think I remember now. No, it wasn't working because Duke mentioned it earlier, but I didn't know you had gotten it fixed. But now that I think about it, I remember seeing it last night.
Yeah, it was working. Yeah. So I don't know. I had to recopy a link into OBS to make it work right, and it was working. But I don't know. But then OBS just updated. So
is OBS dropping the pop out? Is that what it's doing?
No, I mean it's built into here. You just put in I'll explain it later. But it's just the URL had suddenly gotten clipped before, so I had to re-upload the URL for the chat, and that fixed it. But I see it's broken again, so that's just the way it rolls here on the portal, ladies and gentlemen. Things kind of work and then they kind of don't. It's the only paranormal show in existence that is actually paranormal. It truly is. It's got a mind of its own. But we're just along for the ride. But hope you're having a good time. So far, we're into half hour number 2. It's flying by.
Yeah.
That break came up just suddenly. But that's what happens when you read a terrifying story and your head is reeling. That was absolutely frightening. That story is just frightening. I think I would much rather see a 10-foot Sasquatch than one of those rakes. I think I wouldn't want to see one of those rakes.
I think so, because I think you have a better chance with the Sasquatch, a 1 or 2, as opposed to a rake that's just instantly 4.5 or 5.
Yeah, I mean you don't know what it's
They're
doing.
just like zero to zip and zilch. It's just like
and it obviously came after Calvin. I mean it was coming after him. I don't know if it was a half attempt,
right,
or if it was just get out of here. I don't want you here.
Well, see, people report that rakes are really, really fast. So I was wondering that myself. I'm like, did he go around the front of the cab? Which way was faster to get around, the front of the cab or the back of the trailer? And
maybe it was planning on going around the trailer and cutting him off, but he got inside and it was like, oh shoot. I don't know.
It's like that 5-second rule. Germs are just going at 4.99 seconds. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason being that most people see a Bigfoot or Sasquatch, it's like, oh, there's a Bigfoot or Sasquatch. It's scary. It's intimidating, but you don't generally hear people getting eaten by them. But you don't generally hear about rakes too much, and maybe it's because people that see rakes don't
survive it.
They don't get to tell about it, and that's what freaks me out about it. It's like maybe there's a bunch more of them out there, but the sightings there are usually pretty hors d'oeuvre,
Pre hors d'oeuvre. Wow. Remind me not to go out there because I marinate in black pepper and sage
that's right.
juice.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll be like,
you better try some.
I smell a long beard.
You better get some of the Merkel's beard oil.
No kidding. Yeah, I'll keep all the women away.
Well, I don't think it, even though it's called like Sasquatch scent, I don't think
skunk ape.
You should do a competing brand and call it skunk ape.
If you want to smell like Tony Merkel. Oh, no, that's funny. I'm sorry, Tony.
No, dude, get the skunk ape scent. Can you do rake oil and stuff?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd have to do a barbecue though, right? Barbecue beard oil.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
You might as well just go for the
rub.
title there. Don's dry rub. Oh God. That was all kinds of visuals I didn't need. No. Yeah, Tony will get us back, I'm sure. Well, as I understand it, his Sasquatch beard lotion does not smell like Sasquatch, which is good because usually they smell like rotten meat and feces,
decomposing body.
Yeah, so I don't think that's a good marketing play. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Lisa, that's a great idea.
What?
Yeah, a beard oil that smells like bacon burgers.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, she just said bacon, but bacon burger came into my head. I'm like, greasy bacon burger dripping down.
I don't know if you want to smell like bacon.
Can I get a side of cheese on that?
Maybe. But
it's actually 20 cents, mister.
No, but seriously, Tony Merkel has a whole line of beard oils and stuff, and apparently they're
Spectre,
pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah, Spectre, Dogman, and
Sasquatch,
yeah.
Yep, there's 3 of them, and apparently they're pretty amazing. However, Wes is he's got the manscaping thing. So
What is going on with these two? One's got above the belt and the other one's got below the belt. Who got the better deal?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You know what though? If I was offered either of those, I'd pitch them.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
do the best I could.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm pitching the crap
Yep.
out of this one.
I'd pitch cooking
God.
oil if it came with a big enough paycheck.
Bacon.
It's like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
We'll pay you in bacon. Okay.
Yeah, that's all you, brother.
The duct tape of food.
Duct tape of food, is that your own?
Yeah.
Oh, my
well, I
God.
don't know. I probably read it somewhere, but it makes sense.
It is. That's kind of good. Not that this is the cooking channel, ladies and gentlemen, but we don't always have a reason for talking. We just talk. So
Mom's- he says you'd be hungry all day.
yeah, you would be. Who said that?
Mogion.
But yeah, you would be. You'd be smelling
Like-
bacon cheeseburgers all the time.
I smell like get attacked by dogs. Bacon.
Yeah, right.
Dog man. Ooh, be attacked by dog man. I think I'll forget that idea.
Yeah, don't do that.
Wow, are you looking at the hot sheets?
I'm on the hot sheets right now. I'm
Wow.
looking. Oh, so Lon Strickler apparently. I'm on the singular40.com, ladies and gentlemen, and apparently we covered this, the details of the Chicago O'Hare Airport Lake Michigan Mothman encounter, but apparently Lon Strickler has more details about that, as written by the Singular 40. So let's see what Lon has come up with, because that's interesting. And I don't remember much about it. I think it was just a sighting more than anything. Let's see. What's funny now?
Deb says, Don, you'd have truckers chasing you. Linda says you'd be a magnet, Don.
You got a pretty beard.
You got a pretty smelling beard there, mister.
Yeah. So Lon Stickler of Phantoms and Monsters was contacted by a witness in Rosemount, Illinois, following an October 5th sighting of a tall creature with bright red eyes and large wings near Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. Although the initial report was submitted to the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, the witness decided not to communicate further with the field investigator assigned to his case after the investigator displayed a pushy and aggressive posture. Wow, I guess they're pretty important over there at MUFON. The witness found Strickler through an internet search and began by emailing him the following. He said, I recently had a sighting of a black creature that flew off on Saturday, October 5th, in Rosemount, Illinois, and I reported the sighting to MUFON and was contacted by an investigator today who is demanding that I talk to him. Wow, that's terrible. I advised him that I did not want to talk to him and I wanted to remain anonymous about this sighting. Then he demanded that if I did not talk to him, that I would need to meet him in person to discuss the report and that he would have to take pictures and discuss the report in order for him to give it validity. I felt really pressured to make myself available for an investigator and that he had no interest in my privacy as I'd previously requested. I told him that I went to extraordinary measures to ensure that my name or picture would not find itself all over the internet, and I explained to him that I only took up doing rideshare to provide extra income for my family, and I did not want to have my information or my family's information posted all over the place for people to ridicule. After emailing back and forth with the MUFON investigator, I decided to look elsewhere for someone to report my sighting to, someone who is going to respect my request for privacy, and I just want to tell my story and then get on with my life. After looking around Google, I came upon your map and then your website, and that is what leads to my email today. I can copy and paste the text of my sighting to you, and am available to speak via email to you, but I don't want to meet in person, nor be in any photographs. I'm not some nutter or some cuckoo who's just seeing things. I have many, many more things to do than prank websites and make up stories. I saw what I saw, and I remember it as clear as if it happened 5 minutes ago. Honestly, how do you ever forget something like that? I'm available in the afternoon, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he says, I do not wish to talk to MUFON investigator anymore. And if you are associated with MUFON, then I'll have to respectfully decline speaking with anyone, as they did not respect my wish to remain anonymous. So I don't know what is this all about? anyway, I thought there was new information here, but it doesn't look like it. It's just that the new information is that MUFON were being dicks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that they can be that way for
Have
some
ya?
reason. Yeah, that some MUFON people are really.
Do you think they're glory hounds? Is maybe that what's going on, that they want to, or what do you think? I haven't heard this, so this is new.
I from what I understand, yeah, I think there's a lot of them out there that want they're there for their 15 minutes.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's unfortunate because it really puts a crimp in people reporting to MUFON, like this person here.
Yeah,
You know?
the last thing you want when you're already dealing with trauma is to have a traumatic reporting experience as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be good to see something that defies all your imagination and suddenly it's real. And then you got somebody trying to push their way into your life and push you into uncomfortable situations as well. Yeah, I don't know. You know, when I watched Fire in the Sky with Travis, this Travis Walton story, or allegedly based loosely on Travis Walton's story, as Travis Walton has come forward and said, you know, there's very little in there that's actually factual. But they got some things right, but most things were not exactly right. But
they were sensationalized. Yeah.
When you look at that movie and you watch when he comes back down and is found at that gas station, they actually reached out to some researcher who had touched base with the rest of the friends and family and stuff and said that, you know, if he comes back, let me know, I can help. We're used to this kind of thing. Well, they didn't portray the researcher very well in the movie, or very, very, they didn't portray the researcher with a whole lot of integrity. It was like a glory hound, you know, and trying to isolate Travis and get him to tell his story and speak into the microphone. And the family was trying to get to their brothers / friends / you know, whatever Travis was to these other people. And the researcher kept getting in the way. And so I don't know if that was based on truth, that part of it, or not. I don't know. And if that was a MUFON researcher as well, I don't know. I don't mean to badmouth MUFON. I really don't know enough about it to have an opinion, but that is disturbing if that's the way they do business.
You know, there is a story that was written by like a ragzine in Australia, like what are they called, the hot sheets? What are they, like National Enquirer?
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I think he was a National Enquirer reporter for Australia, and he pretty much said that there was a $5,000 award or reward for somebody who could prove, you know, this, that, or the other thing regarding some aspect of a close encounter.
Oh, okay.
And and there was 6 other guys there, because Travis, as far as I understand, was working kind of as a logger team, you know.
Yep.
And there was like 6 other people there. One of them was his older brother. This reporter said that he, the paper put them up in a hotel for like a week and provided food and drinks, and the reporter said that they pretty well drank a bar dry that entire week. So, you know, I don't know, you know, if this is true or not, but, you know, with what you just said, it wouldn't surprise me if that's kind of like, you know, kind of the way they went. Now, I don't think it was MUFON. I'm going to say I don't think it was MUFON in this case.
Okay.
But you know, they certainly tried. There were a couple attempts to really smear the encounter or skew it and cast doubt. So,
you know, but I got to tell you, just the, you know, and granted, ladies and gentlemen, we're not a huge show, but we're growing. But I can tell you that as we're growing and as I'm seeing more of the drama in the paranormal / UFO / Bigfoot communities, that it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, people are just excel at trying to discredit. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Discredit anybody that has what might be a valid viewpoint, just because there's so many glory hounds in this stuff. And that's really troubling, that there's so many people looking to take that bow.
Right.
And, you know, well, it's us that figured it out. And I don't know. I mean, I suppose that it might be very lucrative to have the market cornered kind of thing on on the approaches of it. But I just, I got to tell you, the more I see, the less impressed I am with a lot of these fields, because there's so many people out there that just do nothing but try to slam other people.
Right.
And it's really disheartening, because
and we just saw it today too.
Right.
And so, it's really disgusting how people just can't have a conversation.
Yeah.
And whether somebody is being sincere or not, there's a line that you can't cross.
Yeah.
And that's just it. You're done. It's like, that's it,
And some people are just vicious, is I guess the other part of it. And they're tenacious and vicious, and they'll do anything they can to just discredit or drag somebody through the mud. And it's really unfortunate, because, it's like pretty much like Wes says, nobody has one of these in the garage.
Right.
Nobody has a ghost in a corner that they're, studying and figuring everything about. Nobody's got a Sasquatch in a garage that they're figuring everything about. So as far as I can tell, and I got to credit Dan Pruitt for this. He said, if you're really taking a truly scientific approach to things, then you have to consider all possibilities until you can disprove them. And obviously, since nobody has any of these things in a cage, they're all valid until they are actually disproven.
Right.
So I just really question the motives behind people being so tenacious and adamant that this creature can do this but cannot do that at all. That's not possible. And I think it's what they're saying is that they don't have the mental capacity to imagine that that's possible. That you're just seeing somebody's paradigm, not a statement of fact.
And a lot of it is people are seeing other people's paradigms. Here we want to get out in the field. We want to do more investigating, as the Coloma, and as we went to, did some EVP. We attempted some EVPs. And you and Blacktree went to the cemetery and was doing some EVP type work, but nothing came out, which is fine, But we're not sitting here going sensationalizing it. It's like, oh yeah, we were at the cemetery, and no, it's not true.
Right.
Be truthful. So we want to get out there, we want to get some boots on the ground, But until then, we're going to talk to these people who have boots on the ground, or have had these encounters, or have some kind of an opinion. And you know what? We're going to talk to them, and you have the choice to listen or not.
Right.
And you can make your own. We're not saying they're right or wrong. We're helping them present their information.
Absolutely. We are all about, talking about phenomena. This will never probably be a show where we say this is possible, this isn't possible.
Right.
It's all possible because, I've had a lot of weird experiences myself, and far be it from me to tell somebody else what is or isn't possible, because I've seen some strange crap in my life. I really have. And it doesn't make me an expert. It just makes me someone who's experienced a lot of things. And so I guess what I'm trying to say in a real roundabout way is that I got a really open mind, that I some things are hard for me to consider. Honestly, they are. But I still don't discount them outright, because
you still have to consider them.
Right, because it doesn't fit into what I normally believe about things. But, I still have an open mind, and I think it's important that people find that place. Until we can prove it wrong, it's all on the table.
Right.
So,
and Kay just said no one has any right to say what someone saw and or did not happen. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you
Very
weren't
true.
there. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
I just wanted to also mention that the phone lines are open if anyone wants to call in. 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. If you're out there listening on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. We don't use the standard TFR number, so we have our own number here. So just so you know, that's our number. And hey, a call just came in.
wow.
As if on cue. And literally, this wasn't planned. I just was throwing it out there.
Oh, goodness.
But let's get to this call. And this is area code 850. You're on the air.
Yeah, hello. I've got a question for you.
Sure.
These SLS cameras that some of these paranormal investigators used, do you think those truly bring up spiritual entities?
Oh,
Thanks.
that's a great question. I'll tell you what. Here's my thinking on it. I think that they are detecting something, but somebody's raised a valid point about them that I just read recently, and what they're saying is that if these things truly pick up spirits, then why aren't as people are using them for the gaming systems, why don't you suddenly see a bunch of new players added in because it's detecting another figure? So what is it about the software that's being used that's so different from the native system? And I don't pretend to know, but I find that to be an interesting question to ask regarding do they work or do they not work? One thing I will tell you that most people get wrong is the effective range of those things. A lot of times you see people using them across huge spaces. And it may pick up a figure, it may not. But as I understand it, the effective range of a structured light Kinect camera is like 8 feet, maybe 10 feet. So anything past that is it's just ambiguous and could be very well be false positives. So you see people using them in large settings and apparently mapping figures, but the effective range is a lot shorter than people think. And so I don't know how credible that is at a far distance. I kind of think that something weird is being detected by those cameras, and I'd like to believe that they're picking up something that other cameras aren't picking up, but I don't know if I could go as far as to say, yes, I believe that they're absolutely working or not. I don't own one myself, so I've never had the opportunity to test it, but those are the questions that come to my mind. So like when the Kinect camera is used with the Xbox, if they do detect spirits, why don't people report, hey, all of a sudden it tried to add 3 more players and I was alone in the room? Well, you never hear that.
Right.
So that's a curious question to ask that I would like to understand more about, but I don't have probably enough knowledge about it to make a clear distinction about that. But something is being picked up by them, but what that is, I couldn't say. So I don't know if that answered your question or not. Don, do you have any thoughts on that?
I was just sitting here thinking, what if somebody was playing with, we have all these electronics in our house, right? And what if like the remote control for your TV, somebody's fiddling with it in the background in front of one of these, which people do all the time. And they're fiddling around or they're turning up the volume or something, and it creates it sees that light wave.
New figure detected.
And a new figure gets detected, and they goes, and then,
I don't know.
It's one of those things because it detects different lengths of light, right? Correct? Is that?
I think they work on infrared. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that would explain.
I think
that could be an explanation. Is somebody's playing with their phone and it's sending out a Bluetooth signal, or it's somebody's playing with the remote control, or any amount of microwave that might be going through the area. I mean, anything.
I don't know. I don't know how robust the sensors are on those to pick up that many varied and different wavelengths. But it's a question that's worthy of being asked. I just don't know enough about them. I've of course seen them on the ghost shows and they look really impressive. Like, wow, there's a figure climbing up that dude's neck,
Right.
Or sitting on the chair next to them. And according to those shows, again, I don't own one, so I've never had a chance to field test them,
Right.
And try it out and see if what I'm physically sensing. What you'll hear on those ghost shows is, wow, it got really cold next to me. Oh, well, dude, they're mapping a figure right next to you,
Right,
and
right.
And there seems to be a correlation, but I don't know if that's just creative editing or if that's really what happened. It's hard to know. So I guess for me personally, the jury's still out, but I think it's exciting to utilize new technologies to try to see if we can figure out a little more about the ghosts and
Right,
stuff.
right.
That kind of stuff really excites me. And, maybe there's really something to it. I just don't know. I like to be optimistic that it is, but in a long drawn out way, I guess that's a long way of saying I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's,
So,
check our time, would you?
sure.
I think
sure.
we're pretty close.
We are, I'm sure. Yeah, we're about just under 2 minutes.
There you go.
A minute and a half. Till
So
break.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those questions. I've wanted to play with the SLS cameras
Yeah.
and see what can happen, but I have those doubts. That does it really pick up actual? Because we don't talk about light when we talk about energy.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about manifestation through energy, heat, cold, that kind of thing. But we don't talk about light. Now, remember Lisa Martin. said something about the infrared light.
No, it was about ultraviolet.
There you go.
Yeah. She was talking about ultraviolet, and she was talking about that she doesn't really use the ultraviolet light because she got some really compelling EVPs
Right.
while she was doing some research with ultraviolet lights, and the spirits said it burns.
It burns.
So it sounds like perhaps that may be true, and maybe that's why, spirits are more prone to be experienced at night, because maybe the sunlight hurts them. I don't know, or maybe there's a certain type of spiritual entity it hurts. I don't know.
Wow.
But very, very wild. But anyway, we are about going to break here for or going into the second hour, I guess. Don.
Yeah, we're at top of the last. Yeah.
We're at the bottom of the last hour, aren't we?
We're at the 7-inning stretch.
So we're going to go into hour number 2 here in just a couple of minutes. So get a break, grab a drink, turn down the lights, and we'll meet you back here in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away.
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, ripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me as their lies keep falling apart. I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking all the slice of my sanity. Just make sure that you're well fed.
I cannot wake. I've never sensed anything like it. Carol Ann is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to hour number 2 here of the Paranormal Portal. We are back in action, and we're looking at another fun-filled hour of paranormal fun and hijinks. I'm not even sure what hijinks is, but it's a funny word.
Yeah, hijinks is a great word. You mentioned mayhem at the top of the show, so
I did.
Yeah,
there's mayhem always in every
always
episode, Don.
mayhem. I know.
There's no shortage of.
I don't know how to get around that.
I don't know if we should. I think it's.
I think
for some reason it works for us. It just seems to work. So welcome back, everybody, to hour number 2 of the show, and we are just going through a whole buffet of paranormal fun. And we talked about listener emails, and we've talked about great question, by the way, from the caller asking about the SLS structured light sensor cameras. That's the Microsoft Kinect cameras that you often see used on the ghost shows like Ghost Adventures and pretty much any other one out there. They're all using them. It certainly is a cool technology. Hopefully it's working. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But anyway, how's everybody in chat? Everybody doing good?
Yeah, they're actually, yeah.
Kate says, Don and Brent, you guys are too distracting. I'm supposed to be editing my show, but I can't help but listening to you
Our
guys.
evil plan is working.
We will take over the podcasting world by distracting the hosts. See, and there'll be none the wiser, Don.
Are you listening, Wes? Mr. Tony? We've already got your friend Cade. Yeah. We're coming for you next.
Oh, that's a whole lot of... You gotta let me know when you're gonna do that. I'll
Don,
get you the Don
we
vision.
need MCAT in his tractor trailer to put all those egos in.
No.
By the way, bring beer. 40,000 pounds of beer. Cases what?
You jerks. We're just taking over the podcasting universe one show at a time, see?
See, that's how we do it.
See, now that's how we do it, huh?
Called it. It's
Well, however we're doing it, I don't know. But people obviously are...
people are paying attention.
To us, which is really just as unusual to us as it is to you guys. We're not sure why, but we are sure thrilled you're here. Thank you for that.
Duke says that's why I edited mine before the show. So there.
See, Duke was planning ahead, see? He doesn't blame us for his problems.
You're just jealous.
See, you should be more like Duke, see? He gets his homework done first, then he plays. Sorry, I'm just got a moment there. I'm back.
Duke's wanting pudding for dessert. By the way, Duke's first show is tonight on TFR.
It is.
Yes.
World Bigfoot Radio, ladies and gentlemen, will be debuting on Truth Frequency Radio Live, TFRlive.com. That'll be following Paisley Wild's The Spaces Between. So we got an incredible lineup. It just gets better and better. So, and congratulations, Duke. We're looking forward to checking it out. We're looking forward to it. You see?
Oh my God, that means I got to stay up later.
Yeah.
I'll do anything for you, Duke.
We'll stay up late for you, Duke. That's how much we love you. Duke's been helping us along
Yes.
for quite a while, and thank you
Yes.
so for all you do. We really appreciate it. And Diana, it's wonderful to see you back.
yeah.
We've missed you so much.
Missed you so much.
It's awesome. Is Julie in tonight or no?
Julia is not that
Okay.
I've seen at least.
Yeah, I haven't seen her as well. And then, so we got a couple of mods here tonight, which is nice. It's good to see you guys. But yeah, it's an epic night as always here on the Paranormal Portal. I wanted to talk about these things, and it was reported by Robin Moonshadow on her Strange Realms.
Oh, yeah.
.net. And ladies and gentlemen, Robin's been a guest on the show many times.
Yes.
We just love her. She does a lot of research, not only in the Bigfoot and the Dogman and the normal cryptids, but she does a lot into the little people and proto-pygmies and stuff.
That's her area of concentration.
It is. So I got to blow this up, though. I got to talk to her about her font size.
Fix that font on your blog.
Hey, Robin, let's blow it up to normal big people size. She's so busy reporting on the little people she writes for them.
Well, she's got so much. She writes in their font size.
Their
Yes.
font size. She uses the little people font size. So to them it's huge, but to me it's tiny. I'm trying to figure out how do I do this on Chrome here. What's going on? Customize. There we go. Yep, that's it. I found it.
There you go.
I'm just going to blow this up a bunch so I can read it better. But this, again, is from strangerealms.net, is Robin's blog, and it's a great site full of all kinds of little people and proto-pygmy information that she's compiled and has written about. She's just a wonderful person, does a great job.
Oh,
Hey, FT.
hey, FT, thank you.
Support what you like or it goes away.
That's right.
We love
That's
you.
right.
We
Thank
love
you,
a
FT.
bunch. Thank you a whole bunch. That's really cool. That means the world. All right, so this is what I'm going to talk about tonight, right now, at this very moment, is the Pryor Mountain Little People, which are known as the Narumbi. Now, I think these are in Montana, and Duke's at edge of the world over there. Duke's realm in the great state of Montana.
Custer National Forest.
Yeah, oh, is it? Okay. The Pryor Mountain is in Custer National Forest? Yeah?
Read the story.
Oh,
It says it right there.
Okay, thanks.
That's how do you think I know?
I thought you were really smart there for a minute.
Damn it.
Oh, Don,
I hate it when I blow it all up.
You were looking so smart there for a moment. All right. The Pryor Mountains is a mountain range located in the Crow Reservation of the Custer National Forest in the state of Montana, USA. These mountains are also home to a ferocious race of little people that the Crow Nation called the Narumbi. The Narumbi are said to be 18 inches tall, with large heads, pointed teeth, and pot bellies.
Oh.
Well,
Sorry, I just had a
okay.
picture of them just pop right in my head.
All right, with strong arms, legs, and a little, if any, neck. Despite their reputation of fiercely protecting their territory to the death, they've also been friendly to the Crow people. It's told that the Narumbi impart spiritual wisdom, teach the ways of medicine and healing to medicine men, and help shape young boys into great chiefs. One such example is Red Plume, to be known later in life as Longhair, who after fasting for 4 days at the top of Bighorn, was taken into the mountain by 4 little people where they told him that wearing his red eagle feather would be his medicine. It would protect him, and he would become a great leader of the Crow people. Red Plume loved to tell of his visions and the predictions of his future glory and leadership, but though he was quickly approaching manhood with no glory or greatness, he soon became known by a new name, Fool Boy. It says Fool Boy. Wonder why. He was constantly ridiculed and taunted by his tribe to act upon the predictions he so lovingly spread, or so loved to spread. And that was exactly what he did, promising to return and prove his medicine was strong. With a small group of warriors, Red Plume attacked a Lakota camp, killing many enemies and returning home victoriously. He continued building his reputation with more battles, and quickly the ridicule he had faced from his people turned to admiration, and he became the great leader the Narumbi foretold him to be. The little people appeared to young Plenty Coups in a vision while he was on a 4-day fast in a sweat lodge. The chief of the little people told Plenty-Coup that he would accomplish great deeds and become the chief of his people. They advised him to use his wits and willpower so he could lead his people. At age 11, the chief of the little people appeared to him in another vision. In this vision, there was a voice that told him of the days of the Plains Indian was ending, and that the white man would soon cover the land. After the vision, Plenty-Coup spoke to one of his tribal elders about his vision, which the elder interpreted as meaning all the buffalo would be replaced by cattle, but the Crow people would adapt and survive. This vision led Plenty-Coup throughout his life, and in fact, he did become a great chief of the Crow people. Some even say he was the greatest chief. Plenty-Coup had led his people to work with the white people and help his people make the transition to reservation life, but continued fighting until his death for the rights of his people and to protect their lands from the white man's frequent attempts to expand the areas of settlements of the white man into the Crow lands. The Nurumbi also helped the Crow while being attacked by invading tribe. They would help them defend their territory. Excuse me. The clever Nurumbi would attack the invaders in the middle of the night, making off with the children and dispatching their horses by ripping out their hearts. Wow, they were ferocious.
Wow.
The Shoshone, Cheyenne, and Sioux refer to the Nurumbi by the name of Nimerigar, which means people eaters. When the Cheyenne and Sioux arrived at the Bighorn, they say they were driven out by hundreds of little people who carried bows and poison arrows. That sounds like the Pukwudgies. Yeah. When Lewis and Clark expedition stayed in the Sioux tribe in 1804, they traveled to the mountain of the little people, and Lewis wrote in his diary that the little people were devils that carried sharp arrows and could strike from a very long distance and would kill anyone who approached their mound. The Nurumbi frightened the Maha-Atos and Sioux so much that they simply wouldn't go anywhere near the place. The Sioux tell a story that's over 250 years old of when a branch of over 300 warriors went near the mound late one night, and only a few of them survived. Those few survivors are said to have been crippled for the rest of their lives. When the Burlington Railroad decided to build a tunnel for the rail line from Billings to Cody, Wyoming, the blasting greatly upset the Nurumbi, who were blamed for repeated collapses of the tunnel during the construction. They were also said to be responsible for a smallpox outbreak. Some reports suggest it was an outbreak of typhoid that resulted in the death of 10 railway workers while building the tunnel. Even after the tunnel had been completed and ready for trains, the tunnel would still suffer cave-ins. In 1906, sparks from the train's engines started forest fires in the area of the tunnel that consumed 10,000 acres of timber. One engineer claims he saw little people fanning the flames and helping the fire spread towards the rail line. The Nurumbi, like the Kirin in the Arctic, continue to be seen to this day, not only by the Crow people, but also by non-natives while hunting or hiking around in and around Pryor Mountain, Pryor. Many of the Crow people still leave offerings to the little people, and some women expecting a baby will leave special offerings for the Nurumbi, who in return will leave a gift for the baby. Depending on the gift she received, the woman would know if the baby would be a boy or a girl. In October 1982, two gold miners found a tiny 14-inch mummy in the San Pedro Mountains, a find which was surrounded in controversy due to conflicting reports from the American Museum of Natural History and the University of Wyoming. The mummy was first examined by the American Museum of Natural History, and its finding certified as genuine by the Anthropology Department of Harvard University. The report concludes that X-rays showed a perfectly formed skeleton, a complete set of ribs, and a full set of teeth, and was approximately 60 years old. They further concluded that the subject had suffered a violent death with a broken collarbone and a heavy blow to its skull. The subsequent examination by the University of Wyoming concluded that the mummy was of an anencephalic, a serious birth defect where the baby is born without parts of its brain and skull. Infant whose cranial deformities gave it the appearance of a mature adult. Wow, that sounds like a cover-up to me. The mummy's last known owner died in 1980s, and its current location is unknown.
Go figure.
Yeah, no kidding. I'd look in the basement of the Smithsonian. Everything seems to end up there. Since then, another tiny mummy has appeared looking the same as the first, and is reported to be that of a sick infant. The Nurumbi are treated with respect by the Crow and are not referred to as little people, but rather referred to as the owners of the earth, and like other little people have lived in Pryor Mountain long before the Crow arrived here. There are petroglyphs on rocks in the mountain that are said to be made by the little people, and if you plan to visit the Pryor Mountains in Montana, remember to show respect and leave an offering for the Nurumbi, or you may incur their wrath. Wow, now there's a picture here of one of the mummies, and I'm going to put that up on the screen for your viewing pleasure. And this is, again, what a great article by Robin. Thank you, Robin, for allowing us to use your material. Putting it up right now. So this is apparently one of the Nurumbi. And as you can see, it's, one place says it's a 60-year-old with full teeth, full skeleton, and everything.
Right.
It had a broken collarbone and a crushed skull, like it got hammered by something. And then the next place says, oh no, it's basically some cephalic means to do with the head and the condition they were describing. And I don't want to try to repronounce it because it was so much fun the first time. But I will say that, that doesn't look like a small child's skeleton, just the way the arms are formed and stuff.
Right.
That doesn't look like a childlike, but I haven't seen many mummies of children, so.
Well, neither does it look like.
But look at that face.
Yeah.
That's not a normal looking, even hydrocephalic or, waterhead babies, which I am familiar with because one of our neighbors had one, and she was, poor thing, she didn't live very long, but she looked normal in the rest of her face. It was just the deformation was around the cranium, the top of the skull, and around the skull. So I don't know about this other cephalic condition, but I don't know. That's pretty cool. I don't know how one place could say, which was validated by Harvard, that it was a 60-year-old skeleton, and then someone else can say, no, it's a child that had a brain development issue and obviously passed away.
Right.
That to me is just unfortunate and screams of a cover-up.
Yes. Yeah.
Not that I, enjoy getting into that kind of stuff because I don't claim to know enough to have a real opinion about it, but that is definitely a pattern we've seen in so many things having to do with, the paranormal, that whenever anything comes out that seems to merit some serious investigation, it's just dismissal with some of the most mundanely stupid explanations.
Yeah, really bad ones.
Yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to read you guys about the Nurumbi because I think that is, I don't know, it's just a really cool idea. Now, Duke lives in that area and probably knows more about the local legends of it than I do, but...
Oh, he says they're in Coloma, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I wonder.
I actually saw something in the background of the Coloma investigation with Dan when we were up there that I still really want to zoom in on and check it out because it concerns me how close we might have been to something like that, but I don't know for sure.
But I would say that particular piece of video, I think that's too big for a Nurumbi. I think it's too big.
No, not the one where it's ducking down. I'm talking about something else.
Oh, something else?
Yeah, there's something else that I caught in as I was reviewing that episode.
See how much I know?
Well, I only get time to get you over here for shows, not for much discussion. We don't have much time to talk anymore. We need time, Don.
We need to spend some bromance time.
Oh my God. I was just going to say bro time, but...
The Pixie News. What Pixie News, Diana?
What?
Diana says the Pixie News hurts my heart. The Pixie News of her not being seen, or I guess I'm missing that. Huh.
Well, I don't know what that reference is.
I don't either.
What did you think it was? I don't know yet. I've only seen a glimpse of something that I don't know what I'm looking at, and I need to zoom in on it, but it was enough to go, hey, what was that? So we'll see. I'm not going to make any claims because I really don't know. at this point. I just noticed something in the woods during one point of Dan and I walking around that was like, hey, wait a minute. I don't remember seeing anything like that down there. So we'll see. But
No, that can't be right.
what?
Well, so
Oh,
that can't be right. Renee, you're going to have to, like, give us some more information because I want to look into that if I can. Anyhow.
Yeah, we don't know. Don't make, please, I don't know. I that's a whole nother deal. It's not for now, Don. Let's not deal with that now. That doesn't belong on the show. Let's just keep rolling here. Do you got anything pulled up?
No, I got sidetracked. Cade did a switch up and sidetracked me.
You're blaming Cade.
Darn right, because he pointed out, we have somebody on TFR, Crow 777.
Yeah.
And have you looked at his Facebook or his YouTube page by any chance?
I've known Crow 77's YouTube page for a long time. Much, for years ago, I remember finding some of his videos and finding them
this is
incredibly
the first time
compelling.
I've even really looked at it.
Yeah, I mean he's really got some amazing footage.
So just to let you know, Cade wants us to get a hold of Crow.
Oh,
but I think we need to have Crow on first.
Don, it's okay. We can share, Don.
After
we can have him. We can have him on
after.
No, we can have him on after Cade. Cade asks.
Cade
gets dibs.
God.
Cade gets dibs. So no, that's fine. We can certainly try to make that connection for you, for Sweden. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Also on here, let's just take another look at what else she's got. Oh yeah, I wanted to go over this one. This one sounds just creepy as hell, and I've covered this on a show before. In fact, it kind of ties into an email I received, but I want to wait for that because I received a whole chain of emails from a listener, and I'm trying to talk that listener into appearing on a podcast with me. They want to remain anonymous, and that's fine, but there's so many different accounts they've experienced, so I want to do an interview with them. But apparently they'd seen a giant spider. And I wanted to read you guys a little bit about the giant spiders that are alleged to be in the Congo. And this, again, is by Robin Moonshadow. She did a great job. Brilliant article. She really puts her heart and soul into this. So it's, I don't know how to pronounce this for sure, but it's Jabafofi. Oh, it's Chabafofi. Oh, now see, she put in phonetic descriptions. God bless you, Robin. I love you.
So it's Chabafofi.
Chaba. That's not cha.
Chaba. Okay.
Chabafofi. Let's see. Among the world's most feared, despised, and revered creatures are spiders. They appear in legends and myth, from Greek mythology to African folklore, and appear to be as 150-foot geoglyph in the Nazca Desert in Peru.
Right. Okay.
Spiders come in a variety of colors and shapes and sizes, ranging from very tiny, the Samoan moss spider measuring only 0.3 millimeters, to extra large, the Goliath bird-eating spider measuring 12 inches, and to the huge Jabafofi with a leg span measuring 4 to 6 feet. Don, 4 to 6 foot spider. Come on. Really? Oh, no. I don't want those to be out there, Don.
Yeah, but see,
that's like Lord of the Rings kind of stuff, dude.
But the thing is their teeth are only like 2.5 inches long. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but all they got to do is stick venom in you and you're melting inside.
Well, I just said 2.5 inches long. That's like a needle, dude. I'm like, I'm trying to help you out here.
No, it's just creepy as hell. The Jabafofi live deep in the Congo, and according to the natives, built huge webs spanning from tree to tree using leaves as a sort of camouflage.
Mirkwood spiders, yes.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Mirkwood spiders. Exactly where I was going with that. Often crossing game trails. In other parts of the Amazon, the giant spiders use a different web technique where they dig burrows under tree roots and cover the burrows with webs and then trip lines, which they camouflage with leaves, similar to the techniques used by the trapdoor spider. The adult Jabafofi are said to look like a giant tarantula, dark brown in color, with a body measuring 28 to 30 inches. That's like this.
28 to 30 inches. inches. Yeah,
That's like this.
36 inches is a yard.
That's like this.
And for our Australian listeners, 39 inches is a meter. Just
Yeah,
to let you know.
just
So
to
it's
let you
9
know,
inches
so-
smaller than a meter.
That's huge. Oh my God. So
I'm gonna get some.
you're so
I'm
worldly.
gonna get thrashed on that one.
So let's see. Measuring 28 to 30 inches in circumference. I'm sorry. That's how round they are.
See, now that'd only be about that big. The size of a large charger. Like a not a dinner plate, but a charger.
That's
See how I
that's
think
just
it's
the
all got
body.
to be food.
The legs go out like 6 feet though in
That's okay.
circumference.
That's all right. Don't worry about that.
Oh, Don. You're minimizing my fear.
Shelob.
Yeah. Sheila. So roughly the size of a basketball in diameter is what they're saying, with prominent fangs and very potent venom. When standing full form, they are as tall as a human, Don. The eggs of the Jabaphophia are a pale yellow and are the size and shape of peanut shells, 1 to 2 inches long.
Wow.
Young Jabaphophia are bright yellow with a purple abdomen. We're going to get
Break
into
time.
more of this. Saved by the Bell.
We're gonna give you a break on that one.
Yeah, so we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal.
Shelob Jr. Yeah. welcome back to Don voguing on screen as we're coming back in. Yes, that's very exciting. I know. Anyhow, well, thanks again. We're at the last half hour of the show, aren't we? My God, where does time go? We started off with some good laughs and then two great emails. One from Linda and one from Calvin.
Two from Linda.
Two. Wow. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then creepiness all around. And then, we get into some laughs with our friend Cade in the chat room there. And then he pulls out the story about a giant spider.
It's true. It's still disturbing, isn't it?
Yeah. And so, but you're still not done. You got more, right?
I do.
There was more about that?
There is more, ladies and gentlemen. But wait, there's more. There's more about these giant jabifofas or fufus or
Shelob.
Yeah, giant spiders. Shelob.
Wow.
So they can be as tall as a human when they're standing back. Like, you ever see a tarantula, how they rear up and...
Oh, is that what... Oh,
yeah, so they can be like as tall as a person when they're doing that. That's just wrong. That's so wrong. There shouldn't be big spiders, should there? Because they don't think. They're not like... They don't reason. It's like, oh, it moves. It's food. That's what they do.
That's reason enough for them.
Right. But it's not like you go, wait, I'm, be compassionate. I love spiders. Don't eat me. Yeah, you couldn't reason with it. It's just like if you move, you're food. So we talked about the eggs, but the natives would avoid these nests at all costs. Yeah, I'm sure.
No way, really?
Often taking a longer route to their destination to avoid them. So the native...
Sorry.
You okay, Don?
Yes,
Good?
keep going.
All
Yes.
right, good. Okay. Safety check. Everything good over there?
All good. Just us spiders over here.
Yeah. The native peoples of the Congo tell stories of the giant Congolese spider coming into their villages, killing livestock, and taking away small animals and even children. Oh, that's horrible. Wow. Well, what's more is they build their huts with thatched roofs using a steep pitch to the ground with tightly spaced walls to prevent spiders from creeping inside. At a young age, one villager claims to have seen one of these giant spiders come into his village, snatch up a small dog, inject it with the venom, and return back into the jungle with the dog in its grip, all in just a matter of seconds. Oh, it's
wow.
Horrible.
Wow.
One of the oldest reported sightings of the Jabafofi was in 1890 from English missionary Arthur Symes. And I think I covered this when we talked about giant spiders before, but I'll redo it here since it's part of our article. He was en route to a village on the shore of Lake Nyasa in Uganda, exploring as he traveled when several of his porters became ensnared in a huge sticky web that hung from one tree to another down to the ground. While in the process of cutting his porters from the web, which was incredibly difficult to cut through, two large spiders with a leg span of around 4 feet appeared and attacked the men trapped in the webs. Symes fired his pistol at the spiders and they hurried away. Symes rescued his porters from the web, but the damage was already done, and within minutes of being rescued, the men became feverish.
Wow.
And the site of their bites became swollen, and they died shortly afterwards.
Wow.
One of the most well-known and documented sightings came from Reginald R.K. Lloyd and his wife in 1938. They were driving down a road when they spotted what they first thought may be a monkey. However, as they drove closer, they were astonished to find it was a spider as big as a jungle cat. They estimated the leg span was about 5 feet. The Lloyds were people of good character and were quite familiar with the wildlife in Africa. During the Kokado track campaign, 1942-1943 of World War II, an Australian soldier came upon a large web 10 to 15 feet across. Wow. Within this web, he saw a puppy-sized spider. He described it as being all black with a thick body and hair like a tarantula. Another reported encounter during World War II came from a man named Craig, who told of how his grandfather happened upon a giant spider near Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea, and its web was 3 feet long. Wow. Its web was 3 feet long, emerald green. Why his web was emerald green and shiny, but surprisingly it was not hairy. So I don't I guess maybe not just his web. But the spider was 3 feet long, I assume. Craig's grandfather was so frightened by this huge spider that he killed it with his machete. Yeah, I don't think you play around with that. You just, get it dead. That's
Just, yeah.
And I like spiders when they're little. I don't like them big where they want to eat people and small pets.
Wow.
A person known by the username Mr. Maxima claims that their father-in-law said that while he was on a scouting mission in Vietnam as part of a 5-man team, the team encountered massive spiders that had the bodies the size of dinner plates, and he estimated the total length of the legs to be about 20 to 30 inches. So it was the body was the size of a dinner plate.
Right.
So the Goliath bird-eating spiders, the whole leg span is about the size of a dinner plate, but this is talking about the body being that big. He estimated the total length of the legs to be 20 to 30 inches. The team opened fire on the spiders with their M16s, and although they had been hit by bullets, he claimed the spiders were still moving around. He also said the spiders were often seen near water sources, which would mean the father-in-law had seen these spiders on multiple occasions during his time in Vietnam. Another report comes from a woman named Debbie, who says the father of one of her friends, while serving in Vietnam, had walked into a bush to perform his daily constitutional. I love that name.
Oh, God.
I got to go have my daily constitutional. He noticed a very large spider web. It was the color of cotton and thread-like and covering 10 to 15 foot area horizontally and vertically, including a tree. As he was looking over this impressive web, he then saw a black spider the size of a small dog only a few feet from his head. Wow. Oh, God. It had thick legs and a very bulky body. He left the area very slowly and very cautiously. These giant spiders are not restricted to the thick jungles of the Congo or faraway rainforests. They may be found in unexpected places, perhaps even our own backyards, Don.
Wow.
Sheila, a librarian, related her encounter from 2001. She was driving along Nottingham Stone Bridge Road one evening when her car's headlights shone on what she thought was a hedgehog. But as she drew closer, it was clear it wasn't a hedgehog, but rather a huge hairy spider. It resembled a tarantula, but was about the size of a dinner plate with legs about 2 feet long. She watched it crawl across the road and through a fence. Once it passed, she quickly drove away. In 1948, William Sladen, along with his wife and 3 young grandsons, were walking to church one evening along Highway 171 in Leesville, Louisiana, right here in the U.S., Don. USA, and they watched a massive black spider the size of a wash tub and covered with hair emerge from a ditch, cross the road in front of them, and disappearing into the shrubs on the other side of the road. As you can understand, the family said they never walked that stretch of road again.
No way.
In Kentucky in the summer of 1981 or 1982, Robert A. was mowing grass for his elderly father who lived on a back road surrounded by thick woodland, and at the time, there were just a few houses in the area. It was a hot day, and it stopped to take a break at the far end of the property in the shade from a tree, and Robert had only sat and leaned back against the tree for a few moments before he heard the pitter-patter of feet above him, which he thought was a squirrel until he turned to see the biggest spider he had ever seen in his life. It was as big as a hubcap, black in color.
Wow.
He ran back to the house to fetch his gun, but by the time he returned to the tree, the spider was gone. After the incident, Robert didn't let his children play in the backyard anymore. No kidding. You keep your kids way the hell away from that. In Bedford, Nova Scotia, Canada, in 2016, this is just a few years ago, Don, a woman reported seeing what she called a giant house spider that was 1 to 2 feet in length. Wow. Black or dark brown in color, running across her front yard one evening. There have also been unconfirmed sightings of giant spiders in Cambodia, Central Africa, Australia, Venezuela, United States, and Mexico.
I was going to say they can keep them there until you said the United States.
Some of these sightings could be attributed to misidentification of known tarantulas, or perhaps a pet which may have escaped from its owner, but what about the people who live along huge spiders every day? The natives of the Congo know exactly what a spider is and often hunt regular-sized tarantulas as part of their diet.
Yeah, I was gonna wonder about that.
Yeah.
Of course, leave me to wonder about what it tastes like.
Don, you can get it on a grill. It's got to be food. And why not? Spiders are related to crabs after all. Several specialty eateries are opening up in the USA, Canada, featuring a variety of insects and arachnids, fried, toasted, baked, and even covered in chocolate or caramel.
I kind of figured that was coming.
Just like Mom used to make.
I love my deep fried spiders.
In fact, I passed by one such place in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, while on my way to see a giant spider named Curno. I must admit it did take me a minute to process what I was reading as the specialty of the day. It was grasshopper fondue, which apparently goes very nice with a white wine. Surprisingly, this eatery was very busy that day, and I personally have no desire to eat any type of insect or spiders, but many people do and say it tastes like chicken or crab. One village in Cambodia is so overrun with spiders that they seem to drop from the sky on their heads, so they have taken to cooking them and serving them on a bed of rice with noodles and a rice wine or tea. The meals are apparently quite easy on the wallet, too. Yeah, I'll bet they are. So, the descriptions of the Jaba fofi all resemble a tarantula, one even bigger than the bird-eating tarantula. The only fossil evidence for such enormous arachnid was the Jecalopterus renane, I don't know, a giant sea scorpion that lived 390 million years ago and measured over 8 feet in length.
Oh, my God.
Many scientists speculate that the Chaba fofi is some species of land crab, like the coconut crab, and although they have common ancestor, there are several attributes to consider. Appearance: crabs are not covered in hair, though some species have tiny hairs on their pincers to feel vibrations. Crabs have pincers, not fangs, and they have no venom ducts or a delivery system for venom, even though some crabs are poisonous if eaten. Crabs are slow-moving and have restricted movement because of their shells. The other argument experts make about the spider's lungs: spiders have a simple respiratory system, and it restricts their growth. They have one or two types of lungs. Book lungs, which evolved from gills, are like their name implies. They look like the pages of a book, and how many pages they have depends on the species. Tarantulas have two sets of book lungs. The other type of lung is called trachea tubes, which is located at the posterior end, and they consist of long tubes with special small holes on the belly of the spider and travel throughout the spider's body, letting air be absorbed through the skin. With that in mind, let's consider the coconut crab. It grows to 3 feet and is the largest arthropod, a family that includes insects, spiders, and crustaceans. The coconut crab lives primarily on land and only returns to the sea to lay eggs. You need something to drink? Or
No,
okay?
I'm good.
Okay. They have neither book lungs nor trachea tubes, but rather a bronchiostegal lung, a unique adaptation in evolution between gills and lungs. The folds of tissue absorb oxygen from air rather than water.
Whoa.
Spiders have been evolving for more than 380 million years, and the first spider that was crab-like, from the first spider that really was crab-like, I guess is what she's saying, to more than 40,000 species of spiders found around the world today. With new species found every year, according to National Geographic, there were 50 new spider species found in Australia in the past couple years alone. Well, there you go, Cade. There's new ones in Australia all the time. So either you guys are making new ones or people are just finding them.
Yeah, so yeah, they must be. And Ken's chiming in too. He's
What's
like,
Ken saying?
Oh, he's just talking about how, he said something about scorpions. He said scorpions are just now popping up too. Just in the last 20 years, he said. So,
jeez.
Yeah, so
that's not good.
Yeah.
There's already enough stuff that'll kill you in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
The existence of a giant species of spider such as the Chaba fofi certainly seems plausible. Unfortunately, the natives of the Congo say these giant spiders used to be plentiful, but with humans encroaching further into the natural habitat, the elusive giant arachnids population is in decline. Mm-hmm. Sadly, the tales of giant spiders may forever remain just a tale. No, I think that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
they can go right into history.
He doesn't mind that particular extinct species.
No, I mean, they just freak me out. It's just, I don't know, the whole idea that they they just eat. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And they don't really care what gets stuck. They'll just bite it and eat it. And now granted, there's many animals that would do the same thing, but I think in the insect chain of things, I don't know. It just seems like they are just utilitarian species, and they do what they do because they're supposed to. They're supposed to eat insects because insects multiply so damn quickly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, does that make any
That's
sense?
the idea, yeah.
Yeah. So very strange. The Chabafofi is our cryptid of the night, I guess.
Apparently so.
We need to have a segment on our
Yeah.
free fall shows
Wow.
like this, Don. The cryptid of the night, where we talk about a different cryptid, maybe. I like that one though. Robin, brilliant job.
Oh,
We did
my
two of them
God.
tonight. The Narumbi and the Chabafofa, the giant spider of the Congo.
Wow, I'm freaked out now.
Yeah, I know. I don't like the idea that they could be here.
I know.
They
huh?
could be hanging out here. It's like, yeah, welcome.
I need more gas for my flamethrower.
Right. Yeah, kill it with fire, right? That's about right. So
Oh, you can't get the spiders out of the walls. Just burn it down.
burn the house. Here's a match.
We're going to exercise this thing to the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
That's just creepy though.
Wow.
I don't
Hi,
know, ladies
Nadine.
and gentlemen. Hey Nadine, how you doing?
Wow.
They are scary. Absolutely, they're scary. They just
Wow.
freak me out. And again, I love small spiders. I'll let them out all day long. I won't kill them. Not generally anyway. I just think they do a good job. They eat bugs, and I don't like bugs. I don't like mosquitoes. So eat all that crap. That's fine.
I crawled into bed one night. This is about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I crawled into bed and I shoved my feet down there and I pulled the blankets up and just seconds. Ow! What the hell was that? And I was able to catch it. It was probably a wolf spider,
Oh, a big one.
and
Yeah.
it bit the crap out of my foot.
Did
And
you
it
have any
swelled
reaction?
Up. Yeah, it swelled up. It was
Oh,
like, oh my
man.
god, just like right away. It was like, oh my god, that's crazy. So think about I think about how painful that was, just the swelling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh crap, if you get by one of these things.
Yeah.
The story about the guy was cutting him out of the web,
Yeah.
and it was too late already. They pulled him out, and they swelled and had all
Yeah.
kinds of anaphylactic
Well, I mean, what
shock going on, and then died a few minutes later.
Well, with-
Holy crap!
with spiders, they inject their venom, and what that venom does is it melts tissue, and then they drink it like a straw.
Like a Slurpee.
Yeah, it's like a big Slurpee, and that's just disgusting.
I know.
That is so disgusting.
Wow.
I mean, and it's fine. It gets rid of bugs and stuff, and it gets rid of a lot of things that are problematic, and that's fine.
Right.
I think that all things exist to create a balance because there has to be a balance. So for everything that
Sure.
multiplies quickly, there's something that eats a lot of them.
Like dragonflies.
Yeah, dragonflies are awesome.
They eat hundreds of mosquitoes a day.
Yeah, they are superheroes in my book. I love dragonflies, but I don't know. I just feel bad for those guys because apparently it was really hard to cut the web too.
Yeah.
Once they got them out, they were already melting inside, I guess. So it was game over. I mean, once you're bitten, that's like it. I don't know. Kind of like a lot of snake venoms too. But a snake venom, the amount delivered probably, if it wasn't for neurotoxins and other reactions, like a rattlesnake bite, generally it can be lethal if you have heart condition or other
Or your
weakness or whatever, or you have a bad reaction to the venom. But it can also be treated, and you can be fine. But something like this, it bites you, and it's like, I don't know. I think it's game over. That's it. And that's the end of the ride, I think. But what a way to go! Oh dear God, I'm glad they got.
How
those-
did you die? I got bit by a giant spider that was almost as tall as I was.
It was about my size. Yeah, that's horrible.
Something that crawled out of a J.R.R. Tolkien book.
Yeah, it really does. So I think those are incredibly creepy, ladies and gentlemen. Come to your own conclusions whether you believe they're out there or not. I don't know. They could be. What I find really interesting is that we are always discovering new things.
Mm-hmm.
We are always discovering new stuff in this world, both things we knew or believed were there, and then things we just had no idea.
Or things that we believed we knew.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Wow.
okay, so like you take, for instance, the Loch Ness Monster. Now, that's been a legend for forever. I mean, pretty much since the Scots were paying attention to the loch. There's been the legend of this big creature that lives in there and maybe dangerous, or whatever. But they just did that really big study where they were doing genetic testing throughout the whole loch, and they tested their samples, and they didn't find anything as far as an anomalous DNA. But what they did find a lot of was eel DNA in throughout the whole loch, and so they believe perhaps the Loch Ness monster is a giant eel or some kind of eel species, and that may account for a lot of the sightings. I don't know. Is it possible they missed something? I suppose.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it seems like Loch Ness is a pretty huge body of water. So I mean, could you imagine somebody going out here on Pend Oreille and doing genetic testing and just saying, well, this is what lives there and this is what doesn't? I don't think it'd be possible, would it?
I don't know.
To pull that much genetic material and test it all? I don't know.
It would take a long time to test all of that.
Right,
Plus, they would have something to compare it to. And then they would have to take anything that didn't pop up as native and test it to everything in the ocean.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. That would take a long flipping time to do.
Well, I mean, most of it once they've tracked the DNA sequence, there's a huge database they just throw it against, and
but it'd be like running fingerprints at that point,
which is really quick. Honestly.
No, it's not.
Fingerprints.
Fingerprints can take days.
Oh, I don't know about that, but maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I was.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we both have a similar background in that, so I don't know.
Well, it also depends on who's doing it, I suppose. let me clarify that. It might have something to do with it.
Might be somebody that just long bidded that job.
Yeah, no doubt.
I can't get this done in under a week.
I need more time.
And there's the young geek. I can do it in 5 minutes.
I already got it done. Jerk.
Exactly.
These new kids nowadays.
That's about right.
But they say there's the Pend Oreille paddler. So I mean, why
exactly.
not? So.
But I'm just talking about a huge body of water, and they did this really allegedly comprehensive survey of it for genetic material. How long? I mean, shouldn't that have taken years and years?
Yeah.
But somehow they spit it out in maybe it was years and years of constant testing, but I don't know. It just seems to me it's hard to. But if that is true, that there's no anomalous DNA found and it's probably an eel, that's kind of a letdown, really.
Yeah, it kind of
isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just an eel. Never mind.
Who's it? They just call the river monsters guy. Go get it.
Yeah, Jeremy Wade.
Yeah,
go fish it up, will you?
Go get it.
That guy catches stuff that just scares the hell out of me too. Those big, huge catfish that suck people in.
Yeah, it's like, here, let's go noodling.
Yeah, let's go noodling. Use your head.
Cameron, the Pend Oreille paddler, is supposedly a giant something that lives in the lake that we live next to.
So they say. Yes. But I will say that I grew up on the Mississippi River, and there was allegedly a peppy that lives there. So it's like this legend that seems to repeat itself near any body of water. And can they all be right? Probably not. I will say that I don't believe much in the one from Minnesota, first of all, because I lived there most of my life and never heard about it. I lived right on the water and was, never saw anything out in the water that I thought was anomalous. Not that I had to have seen it. If I didn't see it, it just wasn't there.
Right.
It could be that I didn't see it and it was there, but I will tell you this, along the Mississippi River, they constantly have to dredge it. Right. So this is the widest spot of the river. It's called Lake Pepin. And it's right from Red Wing down to La Crosse. And it's several miles, and it's a huge body of water, but they constantly have to dredge that huge body of water because of all the sediment that comes in. They can't even get barges in and out or through it without continually dredging that body of water. So I have a hard time believing there's some large lake monster out there. I mean, you can be out in the middle of the lake if you're out of the channel.
Right.
With your it looks like you're a mile from shore, and all of a sudden you're bottoming out because you're hitting the silt and sandbars and stuff. So yeah, I just don't buy that there's a big creature in there, but it's good for tourist dollars.
Right. Well, and let me clarify something else too. You have to remember that Pend Oreille is one of the largest, deepest puddles in the world.
Yeah.
And so, there's also Farragut State Park, which was Farragut
Naval Base.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we actually had mini sub testing up here, and I believe we probably still do. So the Pend Oreille paddler could very realistically be one of those subs that was spotted at different times.
Could be.
You know, even a mini sub is still huge. You know?
Yeah.
It's not
it is.
like, 50, 60, 80, 100 feet, but, it's down, 25, 30 feet.
That's
so-
a good point. Could the Pondere Paddler reports, could it be just
Yeah,
at some
I don't see
sub-testing?
why not, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's admitted there have been, sub-testing going on here for decades.
Yeah.
But they say it's gone away now, but,
Oh, do they?
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not plugged in at all the community. I don't know what's supposed to be here and what's not. But yeah, that's interesting. How are we doing for time?
I don't know.
I suppose we should check that,
We've
huh?
had such a great show. Whoa, it's over.
The
We don't
show
even
is
have
over.
time to say bye.
We do. It's 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
So the music's about to start, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much
Oh my
again.
God.
Stick around listening to Paisley Wild, The Spaces Between, and then later on you can hear Duke's new show, World Bigfoot Radio, on tfrlive.com. And definitely check it out and give him some love, show him some support. Check out his channel on YouTube as well, and Paisley's channel on YouTube as well. And make sure to subscribe both places if you're not already. Love you all.
Love
Be
you,
good,
bye.
be kind and nice. Love you. That's it. I ran out of time. I ran
My
out of
name
time,
is
Don.
Ella.
So
and
to
I'm
all
10
of the
years
rest
old.
of you,
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I'm one of
Just
the
a sec.
millions of
I'll give you
children
guys
born to
a proper
parents
close.
suffering from the SIBO virus.
I'll give you all the proper clothes. Love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Love you guys. Have a great night, and thank you so much for being here.
Good night.